This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wally. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wally. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wally. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Lawley. All right, let's go ahead and open up that waiting room. Thank you, everybody, for your patience as we're working through a few little technical issues. But hey, we are here, and I love the fact that you are too. My name is Becca Dukes. I am a certified holistic health coach. I am the director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health, and I am also a certified naturopathic practitioner. My heart is to share with you and communities around the world that you don't have to live with dis-ease, especially when there's 900 different poor health conditions and symptoms directly related to nutritional deficiencies. Now, if you were invited to this program by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them, as they are your number one. They cared enough about you to share this program with them. So care enough, get back with them and say thank you. Now, this program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, where you'll find more information about who we are, what we do, about some of our guests, also articles that help you put more information in your toolbox so that you can make well-informed decisions when it comes to your wellness journey. Now, I am super excited because we are honored to have an extraordinary guest today, Yvonne Rea. Now, Yvonne is a U.S. veteran. She's a microcurrent pain specialist, author, functional medicine practitioner who has dedicated her career to helping others find real, lasting relief beyond pills. She is a toxic exposure advocate, speaker, connector, leader, trainer, who brings a unique blend of science, compassion, and hands-on expertise to the world of pain management and holistic healing. Yvonne is passionate about educating others on the power of bioelectric and non-bioelectric therapies that support the body's natural healing systems. A true champion for veterans, first responders, and anyone navigating chronic pain or toxic exposures. Folks, you can learn more about Yvonne and her work by going to For a Better, the letter U, that's number 4, A Better U, and the number 2.com. As always, our mission here on Daily with Doc and Becca is to equip you with practical science-based tools, encouragement, community, helping you live a better by the minute life through a natural health, nutrition, and purpose-driven wellness path. So grab your notebooks, folks, invite a friend, and get ready to be inspired, because today we're diving into pain relief beyond pills with the amazing Yvonne Rea. Hello, Yvonne. Welcome to Daily with Doc, my friend.
Thank you very much. I am glad to be here with you guys today, and especially talking about the difference between bioelectric and non-bioelectric.
So, first of all, what is bioelectric?
So we are electrical beings. We are magnetic, that would be the earth and the sun, and sorry, I'm drawing a blank. In that, we have electrical in the body. And so just like magnets will help our body, electricity, when we tap into that microcurrent in the body, we can actually begin to elicit a change. There are several systems in the body that can either make us sick or help us become well. And those are emotional, spiritual, chemical, which would be our pharmaceuticals and our nutrition. And then, of course, there's electrical. And electrical is where we're tapping in literally to the electric of the body. And if you're, questioning, it's not just our heart that is electrical. Our brain is. Every tissue in the body has electrical running through it. And if you get a loss or a reduction, or there's no electrical going to that tissue, electrical carries the fluid of the body. Now think about this. There's 3 fluids in our body. We've got our lymphatic. We've got our spinal fluid, head to tailbone, right? We can influence that by just kind of pumping that tailbone. And then, of course, there's the blood and the blood plasma. Well, all of those fluids are carried via electrical. So that's a little bit about what electrical is in the body. And some people use the word energy. I'm going to be talking specifically about that energy, but it is going to be the electrical component when we talk about bioelectrical, and then there's non-electrical.
Okay, so we're talking electrical, but it's similar, but not like the electricity that's in your home.
Correct. Those amperage, that's way too high for our body. Now, many of us actually understand and are very familiar with a TENS unit or a muscle stimulator. So while those are acting a little bit on your electrical, causing the muscles to contract to relieve pain, discomfort, a TENS unit, they work differently. They actually will go in and block an electrical signal to reach the brain, to tell the brain that there is a pain point right down here, but your brain doesn't receive it. So you feel better, but that's blocking it. So there's not a two-way communication. And ultimately, it's kind of like putting the Band-Aid, in your car when you get that warning light. You're masking it. There's no recovery. There's no regeneration. Well, not necessarily true, because sometimes there's actually a physical, remember I talked about emotional, behavioral, spiritual. There's an emotional component to pain. There's a behavioral component to pain. And so sometimes when we can stop that aggravation, we have a better, I'm just going to use the word mindset, so that I'm not getting, too technical. Does that make sense? And how that can help also, even though it's a TENS unit. And yeah, so some people can get relief. And when you stop agitating, aggravating the tissue, the body has an opportunity to come in and provide some restoration.
Okay.
And I'm always going to be looking at things as like a construction site, as a rebuild.
Well, I love the fact that our body can rebuild.
They know that we can rebuild. Say again?
It has the opportunity to rebuild, but we have to do something in some cases.
Yes, we have to do, in my opinion, if the tissue is degraded, if you're having a problem with any tissue issue, you've got to do something. And it all starts with what you're putting in this pie hole, because you're either feeding wellness or you're feeding illness. And then for me, I use all of these various devices that we're going to talk about to help remove the burden because none of these devices, bioelectrical or non-electrical, can actually rebuild missing tissue. They're going to set you up. They're going to set the body up to be in a better condition to receive the nutrition. When there are blocks, the nutrition can't get there. If your electrical is not traveling that fluid along, you're going to have a problem getting that nutrition to that tissue issue. Does that make sense?
I think that it makes sense. Because if you don't have the nutrition to keep everything like circulation, like the blood, part of that energy, electric flow, if there's a blockage, then you're not going to have the circulation going through that blockage. Now,
correct. And deep into the tissue. That's what we're talking about. A lot of times people talk about things happening in the blood, but if your nutrients can't get into the tissue, it doesn't matter how much is in the blood, you're going to have a lack of getting into the tissue. And of course, we all know those are the minerals.
So basically, we're going to be talking about things that we can do to keep that blood or restart that flow of that energy, that electrical current within the body.
Correct.
All right. So these are things that we can do. One, going to see somebody like yourself who is educated, or you actually have a certification course that you teach, which I think is super fantastic. So let's hear about that later in the show today. But let's go through some of those technologies that you have. And tell us, as you're going through these technologies, what they are and what part of the system do they maybe help best, and the differences between them.
Certainly. So if you remember, I mentioned that there was electrical, bio being body, bioelectric, and then non-bioelectric. So with the electric, like I said, it can actually tap into your electrical system that runs across the fascia. That's our Ethernet of the body. So this is one device, if anybody remembers Star Trek, and they had the tricorder. This is very, very similar. Let me see if I can get it in.
Right there. Perfect.
So this is very similar to a tricorder. And this has a split chip. So I have a defibrillator, an EKG, and a biofeedback. And so I can register and read the body in real time.
And I know
so when I
one.
touch, yeah. So when I use my wand, and we call this the magic wand, when we touch the tissue, the affected tissue, I'm going to get a registered reading. Let's see. Can you see that? It's coming in and out, really. Huh?
But you do. So there is a screen there. Oh, there we go. When we get it a little bit bigger, perfect right there. You do see that there's some numbers, and that's going to show the electrical current that is registering. Correct?
Yeah. What's that center top number read?
My goodness. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to highlight you so we can see you, because you're the most important one here. So go ahead and hold that back up.
Certainly. And let me just steady my hand here.
In front of you. You're going to have to put it right in front of you.
Like here?
In front of you. So put it so that it's between you and the camera, not next to you. Because it's still blurry. Almost see it. A 23. I see it. I think I got a quick little 23 there. Nope. A little bit blurry.
Here we go. See the 24?
Oh, 24. Okay.
Yeah. So that is registering the amount of inflammation. And I'm trying to get it there. There we go. And then do you see that 4-6 below it?
I do.
When I first put it there, it actually was a double 6. That's showing me that it's a block, that there was an electrical block. So just like if your electrician came and he was checking an outlet to your breaker box and back, he would register some numbers. So this can tell us not only how much inflammation is in the body, but if there is an electrical block. And that's what similar to an EKG does. Okay.
Oh, wow. So
So
is that block necessarily where you're touching, or is it just
so these numbers are registering in real time the tissue that I am touching. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to touch my heart, and let's see what we register. All right, I'm in the area of my heart. We've got a
21. It went all blurry, so I'm not able to see any of the numbers right now. And I think she froze. So she'll be back here shortly. Folks, this is why we started just a little bit late, trying to get all the technology and everything talking and flowing easily. So are you understanding how your body has energy flowing through every single tissue? The machine that she's showing, and she is back now, is measuring the energy that's in the tissue where she's touching. So Yvonne, you were going for the heart.
Yeah. So the one thing I just want to tell you is there's bioelectrical and then non-electrical. So I'm going to go for the heart and we're going to register what it says. And I'm going to show you again.
So put it, there you go. Almost. Tip it a little bit. Pull it away a little bit. Oh, okay. So we've got a 610 down on lower.
Yep. So I do not have a block on this portion of my heart. But do you see the 21?
Yes.
At the top? So that is registering the emission. And we all have 20s are normal. So this is the biofeedback portion. And then do you see that 85? 87?
The screen went out, so I'm not seeing any now.
You can literally see the tissue is. What do you want me to repeat?
Something about the 85
and the 21.
Please. Everyone has a normal amount of inflammation, and it's typically in the mid-20s. Now I'm going to move to another area. Let's just see. So I'm hitting my vagus nerve. That's about 21. I'm trying to find, I don't have any pain, so I'm looking for an area that will register a little higher. Anyway,
well, having low pain is a good thing, right? That's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely. So these are tools that could connect with your electrical system. Now there's many other tools out there that non-bioelectric, and I'm going to tell you some of them, and then I'll show you a few. Many of you will recognize some of these things. So this device, connects with my electrical, but how many of us know about bioresonance equipment that can detect what's going on in the body? Some of those things might be called a bioresonance scan or even a Zytoscan. There's many companies out there. Those are using the galvanic skin response. So they're not actually tapping into the electrical. And then the second thing is There's some out there that they will use bone conducting devices. Sometimes it's a headset. I've got and sometimes, if anybody recognizes what these are.
Oh, a tuning fork.
Yeah. So much like a tuning fork, when we talk about resonance, if I held these up and there was a guitar in the room, at some point, other musical devices will actually, just like when they do a clock, begin to resonate. They'll all come together. There are devices that will tap into the bone, and like a ultrasound, it will send out a sound or a sound, and then what comes back, they create an image. That's a type of resonance. And they use software to map out that image. There are some other ways that, and all of these are non-bioelectrical. And then there's how many of you guys are familiar with, patches for nicotine, patches for pain. I've got some patches here that look a little different, but these type of patches help deliver nicotine. Maybe if you're a smoker, you might get a patch for nicotine. Or we do know that nicotine has many incredible properties to help with viral load. Wow. That's kind of it's old but new public news. So these are some things that are non-bio. Here's another one. This is a red infrared laser light. I don't know if you can. It's a cold red infrared laser light. Non-bioelectric. Okay. I just mentioned the vagus nerve earlier. I can either attach to my electrical using this device, or you can use patches. How many people have seen patches? Not only for the vagus nerve, but for, tissue parts throughout the body. So again, these would be the non-bioelectric. And I've got plenty more. There's also, we were talking earlier about the resonance machine. So I have owned, I think, 4 of them. I currently am using one in particular because of the imaging that it provides. Not all of them provide imaging like you would get from an MRI. That is a sound resonance, and it creates a soft tissue image, as well as an ultrasound creates a soft tissue image. With the current scan that I'm using, it shows us in numbers, like there's 25 different ligaments, tendons, and bursa in the shoulder. And it will show us each of those, and is it resonating within a normal vibrational well space, or is it underperforming? A little slow atrophy is setting in, right? Or is it resonating too high? It's impinged, it's angst and pain and inflammation, right? Neither end is within, it's outside of normal limits. So we can see and then use our devices, use nutrition. These are things that you can use rather than a chemical pill to overcome your pain, and especially without masking it.
Well, I love that, especially without masking it, because I know what within my body happened when I was masking pain. And it was causing more damage.
Yeah, and we have, come to recognize that chemical is where we go because it's quick. If you were to do any one of these therapies, you're looking at anywhere from probably 4 to 6. Some of them may take longer, but they're helping the body heal much more naturally without shutting off a mechanism. The one thing that happens with most pharmaceuticals is they're actually shutting down a mechanism in the body. And I'll tell you one that many are aware of. Do I have the time to do that?
You do. Yes, you do.
Okay. There is a drug out there that stops the osteoclast from building in the body. And what that means is, if you remember, when you build bone, there's osteoblast with a B and osteoclast with a C. The blast are what lay down the nutrients, and I'm just going to say bone. It's technically it starts as cartilage. You add the good minerals and it becomes a hardener for bone. The osteoclast, before it lays down, comes in and sweeps up anything that's dropped off, because we're constantly turning over tissue, right? So you got to sweep the floor before you lay it down. Because if you don't sweep the floor, do I have a solid foundation if I just start laying things down?
No, especially if you've got little rocks or marbles, it can slide.
Exactly. And so that is shutting off a mechanism. And I will encourage you, any of you that are, utilizing pharmaceuticals, and many of them have some real purpose for a time, but find a way to help the body heal so that you can get off of those. But you want to ask, what mechanism is this shutting down? We know with statins, it will lower the amount of good fats and cholesterol in the body. Well, by brain weight, our brain is something like 75, 80 plus. I've seen a range of numbers, percent cholesterol and fats. So by having them stop that mechanism, I'm actually impacting what is not getting to my brain, my organs, my heart. Remember, the organs need all of those essential fatty acids, right?
Yes, they do. They need all those essential fatty acids. They need cholesterol, the good stuff, in order to be able to function properly. So we do. Well, AJ made a comment that you can't wax a dirty floor because it does make a mess. We don't want a mess. We want a solid foundation.
Yes.
Excellent. So, AJ, is your question something that is based on what we've talked already, or do you want to wait until after we're done going through devices?
I'd like to wait.
You got it, buddy. All right. So let's go on to more of the technologies that you have at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Which one? You want me to just keep going? All
Just
right,
keep
so
going.
I'll show you a few other things. So sound can impact our health. And there are, well, I'm just going to say there's music out there that actually puts the little cells in an angst vibration. Not my opinion. It's been measured. So I do think about what, God said, think on these things that are lovely, pure, and righteous. So sound can bring wellness or illness. Now, a lot of people know what we were talking still non-bioelectric. So a lot of people know about these PEMF pads, and they come in all different sizes. They come in a size, big enough that you can lay on. What happens with these is this is resonating whatever is inputted into these. Actually have Tesla coil. Remember that guy Tesla? He kind of knew a thing or two way before his time, I'll tell you what. But these can help bring down inflammation, relax muscle, and even remember earlier I said something about the brain waves. So at night, if somebody's having a hard time sleeping, you can get these pillows with the generator and put it on a brain wave that is beneficial for sleep, like alpha. A lot of people are familiar with the alpha brain wave. That creates calming. Just below alpha is something called the theta brainwave. Theta has many, and they all really do have many good properties and purposes. Theta is a little more relaxed. You're not asleep. It's that 15, 20 minutes just before you fall asleep and just before you wake up. The hertz on that, if you ever wanted to measure it, is somewhere between 3 to 8 hertz. And in theta, that's where we have what they call our creativity. If you know anything about, I believe it was Einstein, or was it Edison? They would hold a ball and he would have a problem with one of his tools that he was trying to create. He was trying to solve something. He would take a 20-minute nap, and this is what he would do. He would lay down with the thought in mind, how am I going to come up with the answer? And just prior to falling into delta, also known as REM sleep, the ball would drop and hit the floor and he'd wake up. And he states in his journals, oftentimes, I mean like high numbers of time, he would have come up with his answer. Because in the theta state, that's our creative, and the right and left brain, the as I best understand it, the left flows into the right. The right's kind of your logical, the left is the creative, or vice versa. Anyway, either way, they work together. But he would utilize that. And then below that, 0.5 to about 4 is that delta, sleep, REM, clear out the proteins in the brain. The body needs to get into that state. So by utilizing some of these devices, you can, without taking a pill. Now, this is still, what's the word I want to use? This will be managing it. And then if you're taking the nutrients to rebuild what's happening, ultimately you would want to do that. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense. And I just want to do a little add into this. Yvonne, there's so many different things on the market, some real, some not, but still carry the same name. If people are interested in these devices, are they able to contact you so that you can plug them into getting the actual device that actually works?
Absolutely, yeah. And I actually have recently, I've had some companies actually contact me, and I don't know if the right word is influencer, but they're interested to see what my opinion is on these.
Yes, you are an
Um,
influencer, my dear. Yes, you are.
yeah,
So,
but
okay.
absolutely, there's many great things out there, and I'll try to help you fit it in what your budget is. Obviously, some are much higher. I mean, there's a light bed out there that's $65,000. Now that really is for a commercial use. You just saw me with this little guy. This thing is $300, but it's pain relief. I mean, pretty darn fast pain relief. Does it take a little while? You can only work a small area? Absolutely. You want to lay on a light bed? There's those out there as well. There's blue, there's green. I think it's the blue light also helps with, is it the viral challenges? So just depends upon what you want. Absolutely. I can give you some direction. I can share with you the choices I've made, but I have chosen some of the more expensive ones because I am using them one right after the other. So I do need the power and the stamina, but there are great home devices out there as well.
Awesome. And what is the best way to get a hold of you? By email?
Email or my website. If you contact us at my website for a better you2.com. You can also find me at microcurrentacademy.com.
And is that the name of your course? Or is that's who your course is through? Microcurrent
Correct.
Academy.
That's correct.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
So if folks want to learn more and even look into a certification on using these devices, they would go to microcurrentacademy.com.
Yeah, and just do the contact us, or you can talk to the chat bot, and that'll send a message to me, and we'll see if we can't help you. But yeah, even in our courses, right now they're $25 a class because my heart is to advocate for these tools. I was pretty sick, and nutrition turned a ton of things around. And then the use of many of these tools actually made it happen faster.
And I think we may be having a testimonial from somebody here in just a few minutes on someone else who was very sick, and myself. I mean, I have scoliosis, and I know when we were using the device that you had that had the fork prong going through and opening up those blockages, just the lines that you had created on my back with the different colored pins showed that there was improvement just in the alignment of my posture by using these devices. So, I mean, that's almost worth moving back to California for. Almost.
We'll meet up part way.
That's it. We'll have to have several events throughout the year, physical, in person, and be able to just reach out and touch each other. That would be fantastic. So again, microcurrentacademy.com, that'll get you information about a certification so you can learn more about these devices as well. Now, Yvonne, I know you didn't go through the whole list. We've got 15 minutes. We've got AJ with a question. Phyllis is bringing questions in from the field. And then I think we've got our testimonial. So let's go. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we go to questions?
Well, I want to mention some things so that they can write it down and recognize that it does have value. And everything that I'm telling you about, there's research out there. Is there research about the particular company that you might find a device from? Not necessarily, but the actual technology. So I'm going to talk about Dr. Royal Rife. That's where these frequencies it is literally working on the internet, and it's bringing, and it technically they started, or it's all about pathologies, kills viruses, bacterial, fungal. And then there is terahertz. Terahertz wave, like a radio wave or microwave or even light wave. Terahertz is around the last hour of the sun. It provides some amazing healing benefits. And there are, since the release of Information Act, I think it was 2010, the terahertz information, which we have all kinds of devices in the commercial space for those. We didn't have anything for the biology of the body until around probably 2012 or 14, because they had to first, build a measuring, how do we measure this and how do we know it's safe types of devices. And so now out there you will find some terahertz devices. And I would say, get one that offers or says, yes, we have a certification. And that might be beneficial in narrowing down what you choose. There's light patches. Remember earlier I was talking about the nicotine patches, the pain patches. There's light patches. There's light. I know I'm missing something for right now, but think about the Jetsons. A lot of this stuff has been out there a long time. NASA uses so does SpaceX, because they cannot use pharmaceuticals in space. Think about this. They can't even use an IV. They can't do surgeries. So this stuff is there. And it is all running on the various layers of the Ethernet. If you've ever flown, you'll know that there are flight patterns, right? That's the Ethernet. That's pretty cool. This stuff is working. It's making an impact in many people's body.
Wow, that's amazing. That there's so much that is available to us as individuals, that we can be empowered. Yeah. But I love the fact we have individuals like yourself who teach us how to be more empowered. Now, this doesn't take the place of the nutrition.
Right.
But it does help the nutrition get to where it needs to be.
Yeah. And it removes those roadblocks, so the nutrition can either not get utilized and the process of all that. But my company is for a better you too, because as I started improving my health, I got excited and started sharing. And ultimately, instead of going back to work in the hospitals, I created my own company, and it started low and slow, and I'm trying to make impact, and we're creating community.
Awesome. Absolutely creating community. Thank you so much for that. Now let's go over to questions, and AJ, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Definitely make an impact, because you've helped several of my clients. So I appreciate you for that. And so folks, if you've got clients that are, between scoliosis and Parkinson's and just a number of different things that Yvonne's modalities have helped my clients with, don't hesitate, if you're a health coach, to reach out to Yvonne and see how she may be able to assist you. But my question today is not on topic at all. So if it's not something that you can talk about, just let me know. But I have encountered some folks, more than one, who were exposed to Agent Orange.
I was as well.
Okay, number one, I don't know if it's a painful experience. I don't know what the experience is like at all, but one guy almost sounds like his health challenges are hopeless because he was exposed to Agent Orange. Can you help me understand what's going on and what may be able to help some of these folks?
Well, the first thing that I would say is lots of minerals, and I do believe that if I remember correct, and correct me, something like herbal rainforest, which has 600 milligrams of minerals. Remember, minerals detoxify, and then you're utilizing those herbs. This would be something that can be affordable for most people. Over time, a lot of that stuff can be pulled out. There are other methods and modalities. Some would use something called chelation. That can be uber expensive. So by the time you pay for that, this may be a better fit. And then, the nutrition, because what is happening when there is any type of toxicity like this is that it is degrading, wearing and tearing on the tissues even faster, right? We all know about free radicals. We take antioxidants, we go over those free radicals. We need to start doing the same thing for some of these chemical exposures, which are also will fall under heavy metal exposure as well, because many of them are made with said things.
Okay.
But I would start there. Yes. I have devices that we can increase. Baylor, just on the PEMF devices, you can increase the blood flow by as much as 400%. So imagine my heart, I got 400 more percent perfusion happening through here. I'm taking in the good stuff. It's moving out faster. And when I take in the good stuff, the nutrients, my heart, my tissue, whatever it is, the whole body does, it's feeding more. Does that make sense? I mean, I see it. It is so beautiful. We've seen this stuff underneath a microscope, how the tissue can take in, and receive. And you'll see these tiny, tiny tears in the cells over time begin to sew back up. Rebuild, baby, rebuild.
So this is the PEMF that does this?
Well, that's just one of many. Red light, infrared light can help speed up the blood circulation, also helping the ATP increase, which is your electrical energy output, forcing this stuff rather than being kind of low and sluggish. It'll pick it up. Many of these devices will increase circulation. And just think about this. If all you did was increase circulation by any one of these devices, that's a good thing, because you're going to start moving things out faster. As long as you remember, we are 70, put your hand on your chest. You are from here down 70+% or, more water. So we want to include water that has good minerals in it, or you can use some of the salts. The salts will be just tiny bits, but at least you're getting in, and it also helps the electrical flow faster. You'll go from, say, dial up to high speed.
Nice.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What if I have like edema or some swelling in my legs from the knee up, the knee to the thigh? Is there something I might want to do in that case?
Well, ultimately, we have to figure out what's the root cause. There can be many root causes. Let's just say maybe it's lymphatic. In the calf, you have a little pump system. Sometimes they call it the small heart. If it's a diabetic issue, you have to go in and get those organs functioning better. If it's a lymphatic issue, sometimes it does depend upon what is the tissue issue. I had a gentleman who had 70% vascular insufficiency. What does that mean in layman's term? From his hips down, 70% of that circulation was not working, but it was actually from a liver issue, and he was just a heavy drinker. And you can see his story on my Facebook page. But ultimately, they were going to amputate. And it took us about 6 weeks. And we have 2 years later. I need to get that video up. People have asked, what's happening with Roy? Well, Roy is still dancing on his feet. He still has everything. So his root cause was different than maybe a diabetic. Now, I would use some of the same tools, but I'm going to use them in a different manner. Do you follow?
Absolutely. That's awesome. You're saving lives and saving limbs.
Thank you. Yeah, kidneys. I mean, it could be a kidney issue. It's first I would do a whole health survey and do a health history, and then we try to figure out what is the potential, because you know, structurally something could be causing edema. You know, I see pelvis that are twisted and it's blocking the blood flow. It's not anything else. We get realignment and all of a sudden some of these things magically go away. All I did was adjust.
Wow. You know, I think it's 6 months of non-invasive therapies to save a limb. That's well worth it.
Well, and he was 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
He was 6 weeks. Yeah. And I
Even
might be
better.
wrong. It's on my Facebook. It might be 10 weeks, but get this. They were just waiting for the appointment and they hadn't decided, will we cut below the knee or above the knee? They didn't cut anything. And that's the body. That's the body. All I did was open things up, get the blood flowing, and the body did the rest.
That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. All right, Phyllis, what questions are you bringing to Daily with Doc today?
Hello, Yvonne. You are most definitely an influencer, the best kind, I would say. I've got a client with joint pain due to arthritis mostly, but among other therapies, he's looking at the nicotine patches. There's a lot of different kinds out there. Is one kind of like the other, or what would you advise?
No, the thing with nicotine patches is depending upon, you know, they do add other chemicals. There is a company that I like, and I'll have to get you the name. I'll tell you the name of the patch. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the company right now. But it's actually called, because they can't call it what they want to call it, Miracle Patches That Heal. And what I have found with these patches is that they're very clean. Nicotine, you know, we have nicotine receptors. So when you have like a virus that looks really close to nicotine, it sits on those receptors. Well, as soon as you add some nicotine, it bumps those off. You be sure that you're taking your minerals so that you excrete them out. You feed the tissue and you excrete them out. But, oh, hang on. It's super tiny. The company is thesecretsofeden.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll get off so that Michelle can get on.
All right. And Michelle, do you want to have your camera on? Because I would love to be able to have you do your testimony with your beautiful face. If you can unmute, please, and if you want to turn your camera on, you're more than welcome to.
I am trying to do this. So I am working from home today, so pardon my appearance, but I'm presentable. Here we go. Hi.
Okay. Fantastic. So, Yvonne, why don't you introduce Michelle?
So Michelle is definitely a kindred spirit. This girl is a researcher, and she's tireless. I have not seen, I mean, this is the Energizer Bunny here. And she is extremely intelligent and has a memory. No disrespect, Michelle, but like an elephant. I mean, it is really incredible the things that she can remember, both in her research as well as what happens here in the Sacramento area, because that's where we are. And you know, she's written a book about the challenges and how going through conventional medicine, the number of pills that she was on, the number of surgeries are astounding that she didn't lose hope. And she is a lady full of hope. I'm going to let her tell you, maybe specifically, Michelle, unless you want to talk about something else, but the story about her jaw. And remember earlier I mentioned about this chemical that would stop the Osteo-clasp in trying to build bone? I think Michelle's got a personal story about that. Michelle, I'm so glad to meet you, have met you, and that we are working together to, somebody said, save lives. You know what? Well, obviously we don't do the saving, but we are certainly improving the quality of life for anybody that wants to come and into our community.
So I went, I'm like a lot of people at the age of 32. I turned my neck to look over my shoulder, and I had the collapse of 3 cervical discs. And so they put me on osteoporosis drugs. This is my personal, what happened to me, so I can say it. I have to be careful because that's what happened to me, I can say it. These drugs, after 5 years of being on them, they prevent your bone marrow from creating the osteoblasts, which build new bone. They keep the osteoclasts there, which become brittle. They do make your bone density larger, but it's dead. And so, and without the bone marrow to rebuild the bone, I am in that situation where my jaw, my maxilla and my mandible are both disintegrating, and the teeth were disintegrating inside the jaw, and it's called ONJ, osteonecrosis of the jaw. So I went to a maxillofacial surgeon before I found out about longevity products, and I said, what can I do? And he says, because the dentist would no longer work on my teeth. You know, people would say, well, why can't you just go get that tooth pulled? And why can't they just drill on that? Well, in order to heal from dental work, you have to have a blood supply. They said, we can't work on you. You can't remodel. And so, isn't that funny, remodel? So the maxillofacial surgeon said, when your jaw falls off, I can put a feeding tube in you and you'll die in about 5 years. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. So I'm going to find another way. And so then I repeated that when it went to Yvonne. I was having excruciating pain. I said, what do I do? And, you know, I explained what was going on. She didn't know about my jaw condition at that time. She had just helped me recover my hand use so I could play the piano and crochet again. And I didn't even know I needed that. So now with the devices, it's rebuilding, it's bringing the blood supply back in. It has blocked the passage, so the fibrin is rebuilding inside the canal that goes from the jaw, from the teeth up to the sinus cavity. You don't realize this, but the roots go right into the sinus cavity, and it was completely open, and so I had massive infection going on as well. So now that we know through Paul Croto that we can rebuild the minerals in our teeth and our mouth, even if they have caries. He posted that in IWH, by the way, on September 30th. I'm just super excited about that because now I have another avenue, and I started doing that, and it's already working. And so that was my next thing, is I didn't know how I was going to rebuild this. And yeah, God is amazing, and our bodies are amazing. Once we have the resources and the tools that Yvonne has brought in with the microcurrent. I mean, I have no pain at all. So.
And Michelle, your doctor had stated that there was no way to get blood flow to that tissue again. Is that correct?
That's correct. He said it's impossible. We don't know how. We haven't been able to facilitate that. We cannot reverse the osteonecrosis.
And so I just want to point out for, you know, everyone, they don't know because, you know, they don't have anything as of yet that's working on the chemical of the system. So remember, we came in to work on the electrical of the system. And if I remember correctly, Michelle, your pain level was like a 9-10 plus.
Yeah, plus. Yeah, I was
And-
crying. It was, well, I couldn't sleep for 4 hours, and I didn't dare awaken you at 2 o'clock in the morning. But you were very
But when-
gracious to come over early
then-
on a Saturday.
Do you remember how quickly that pain started to relieve?
Almost instantly. Once applying the wand, almost instantly. And by the end of the day, it was completely gone.
Yeah. And so thank you very much. So again, just since this was about bioelectrical and non-bio, we were tapping into her electrical system. I got a reading, so that's the biofeedback. And the biofeedback includes the brain.
Yeah. And that is when I bought my device.
Yeah, it was more cost effective for her to get a home device than to come keep seeing me. Anyway.
There you go.
Michelle. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Well, I just think that it's so fantastic that I know so many people, and I've seen because of events that we've been at where you have worked on them, Yvonne. And then I personally know Michelle. I've read her story. It's just absolutely incredible. And it's a true blessing, folks, that these technologies have been created by people that were deemed crazy, some of them.
Yep.
Yet they work. They are doing things within the body that the medical system says can't be done. Like with Michelle's case. So thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on and sharing your story with us. We greatly appreciate that.
I do want to say, I trusted the doctors to find a cure for everything I went through. And this was the worst of all of it. So it's truly a godsend that now we can get these devices here in the United States. This is not an easy task. Yeah, they have to come through Canada. They don't come directly here. So yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle. And Yvonne, thank you for being on the show, because I know Yvonne's a certified holistic health coach through the Institute of Holistic Health. Michelle is a certified holistic health coach through the Institute of Holistic Health. And all of the people you see on the screen right now have gone through the same course to become a certified holistic health course. Yvonne's offering even more certifications to help you be able to help yourself and help others. AJ, why are you not on the screen?
Got a full house.
Oh, please. Okay. I read your lips, Michelle. Okay, AJ. We've got another seat at the table open for you. Yvonne, I don't know if you and Michelle met through the course or from her watching some of our earlier shows or not, but I am so thankful because she is such a beautiful soul that the two of you connected and you have been able to introduce her to this whole new world of what the body can do when we use technology and nutrition, put them together, and it's just such a beautiful marriage. And I know Rod has seen evidence himself with pain relief, whether it was with somebody that was at an event that we were at where Yvonne was giving a session. Same with AJ, myself. It's just absolutely incredible. And I love the fact that we're able to share you with our audience, Yvonne. Thank you so much for being on with us once again.
Absolutely. And we should take a survey, if there's a specific type of technology, whether it's Terra Hertz or PMF or, other types that, if people want to know a little bit more, and because it can be overwhelming. There are a lot of different power levels and variations on what they're using. And but either way, start opening yourself up to recognize that these tools can and do work.
Yes, they absolutely do. AJ, he fessed up. He says it got my lymph moving. So for those of you who are experiencing sluggish lymph or issues with your lymph, this may be an answer for you in conjunction with the nutrition. Now, folks, if you do seek out Yvonne's help, let her know how you heard about her, and she'll be able then to know how to best help you. If you are a certified holistic health coach and you are sharing information with your clients that help get them connected with Yvonne, make sure that they know that to tell her that you're the one that sent them, so that she can make sure that you get back with them when it comes to any type of nutritional products, but she can help you with the biofeedback and the non-biofeedback therapies and technologies that we have been sharing with you today. So, Yvonne, do you have any closing words that you would like to share?
Thank you for letting me be here. If anybody, I mentioned earlier the Jetsons, it's kind of like, do you remember the robot he had, Rosie? She did everything from cleaning to cooking. There are devices out there, and of course, with the advent of AI, I think we're becoming more open to it. But a lot of these tools, I can't say enough, because it just seems so unreal. And I know personally, I was indoctrinated, into a system and truly believed if this stuff worked. Remember, I was at the hospitals for nearly 20 years, everywhere from the OR to assisting in autopsies. If this stuff worked, we'd be using it. I was not aware that it's very specific. It is pharmaceutical based, and very little people get many of these tools, if at all, and you gotta go through a lot of hoops before you do.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a lot of love being shared, clapping hands, comments. Olga says, thank you so much, Yvonne, and everyone. Our bodies are designed to be able to regenerate, fearfully and wonderfully made indeed. And yes, folks, we do openly share our faith and giving God the credit for what he has designed and what you see. So,
well, and just he can use a scalpel in a surgeon's hand. He can use any of these tools. They're all his. So agreed. Give him the glory.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. And I want to do a thank you to Marilyn. She was super busy today as she was putting information into the chat, going deeper into some of the things that were being said, the different conditions and symptoms. And she was doing some more sharing on what those actually were. Thank you, Marilyn. Also, if you're here live with us in the chat, you saw that whole list of technologies and therapies that Yvonne has mastered and is using within her own practice. And not only that, teaching others how to do it. So again, go to microcurrentacademy.com if you want to learn more about how to become certified to be able to use these for yourself or your clients as well. Thank you, Marilyn. We have Rod, who's watching the different platforms, bringing in questions, also keeping the chatter going. Thank you, Rod, as he's a great speaker and motivator. Thank you. We have Sherry, who's part of my tech crew. We're helping us get everything set up in the beginning so that the stream runs smoothly. Thank you so much, Sherry. And she is also one of our guests on our show, as she is a specialist and certified in multiple different things herself. And we're going to be having her back next week. So we look forward to that, and I will have to catch the replay. We have Phyllis, who is a pioneer amongst us when it comes to sharing this message of health and wellness based on Dr. Wallach's research and teaching. Thank you so much, Phyllis, for all you do, as she's also adding to the chat and bringing in questions off the different platforms. We also have Albert, pretty much running by candlelight right now. Thank you, Albert, for still being here in South Africa, as his power is technically out, but he's able to join us through through technology and letting people into the room. Thank you, Albert. And we have a newest member of our crew here, and that is Mary. Mary is helping to learn all the ropes, and I think she's going to be starting with some of the technical crew parts duties also. AJ's shaking his head. Yeah, that's what you're going to do, Mary. So I'm excited to have Mary on with us as well. And we have AJ, of course, with his hand up. And I just want to do a shout out and thank you to him, as he is our digital marketing director, helping us to get out on all the different platforms, helping keep on top of AI and what it can do to help us get the message out even stronger, broader, and brighter. So AJ, what is your question?
Yvonne, that little light wand is about $300. Is there something that's a little broader that I might use to increase circulation? I'm sorry, Becca. I need to know. And
So, as a cold laser, without going into the thousands, what this one does is, when you use it, the closer that you get, it's more pinpointed. But as I pull out, it covers a broader area. So without really bumping up, because again, this is a cold red infrared laser that penetrates deep.
Okay.
There are some that are more surfacey.
So is that along the same technology as Big Red? Because I love Big Red.
No. I mean, it's still a technology. This is just before infrared is Terra Hertz. Big Red is in Terra Hertz. Okay, and it also offers scalar. Scalar actually is not on a waveform, it's linear. So it's this, yeah, it's pretty incredible, kind of, linear. And some have said it has the DNA turtle. But I know it works. That's look at the EE systems, and some say this, that, or the other about them. I have been to 2 here in Sacramento, and I will tell you, I know the clients there, and they have had a shift. They've had a change. And yeah, you might have to do 6 or 8 or 10 sessions, or even Tony Robbins said, hey, the scalar, I have a handheld scalar. It helps. The Big Red has a scalar and terahertz. So you're getting dual technologies.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And I didn't even know. I think I need to go get certified on that one. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc and Becca. Again, my name is Becca Dukes, and as a certified naturopathic practitioner, it is just my honor to be able to help you all learn more about what you can do in a more holistic, natural way to make a U-turn in your life and create a healthier health journey. AJ, were you putting your hand up again?
Sorry, but just you mentioned making a shift, And tomorrow, I think we're going to be talking about a life shift.
Yes, especially for women. So make sure that you plug in with us tomorrow as we are going to be talking about the big pause, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, or post-menopause. That's going to be what we're going to be talking about tomorrow here on Daily with Doc and Becca. So folks, thank you so much. Make sure that you like and share, comment, let us know where you're at. And most importantly, take action. You heard it. What is something that you heard that you can utilize within your own system or share the information to help somebody else have a better health journey? So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, thank you, Michelle, for coming on and sharing your testimony as well. So until next time, bye for now, folks. See you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern. You can watch the live stream by going to live.dailywithdoc.com. And that also takes you, when we're not live, to our last program that we were live. Again, live.dailywithdoc.com. Visit our website, dailywithdoc.com. Sign up for our email list. And folks, if you want to continue to be part of our live Zoom audience, make sure that you email us at zoom@dailywithdoc.com as we're putting the list together and getting ready to start by invitation only Zooms. So until next time, bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us